Hello, I'm Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions. Thank you for your time. I would like to share 30 reasons to hire me to start your 501c3 nonprofit organization. So many times people ask me the steps that I use to complete application packets for clients across the United States. Although I have the information listed on my website, I thought it would also be beneficial to record a video message to share the information with you in more detail. So again, my name is Susan Woods, and the title of this video is 30 Reasons to Hire Susan Woods to Start Your 501c3 Nonprofit Organization. So let's get started. Again, I'm Susan Woods. I started a nonprofit organization in 2003 called Comprehensive Community-Based Solutions Incorporated. Like so many people, I was anxious to get started offering my services, so I did not bother to complete an application packet to earn 501c3 status. Instead, I thought it would be okay for me to just operate as a nonprofit organization without the status because I wanted to, at that time, simply teach displaced manufacturing workers how to use computer skills or how to acquire computer skills in order to qualify for their next jobs. Unfortunately, although people thought what I was doing was a noble service, they wanted me to have an official 501c3 designation so that they could write off the donations that they made to my organization. In addition, grant funders would not even consider providing grant funding for my organization without the 501c3 designation. So I completed the process, I completed the steps to earn my 501c3 designation. It was a bunch of trial and error, but I finally figured it out and I received my determination letter from the IRS that awarded the 501c3 status. I earned 3 nonprofit management certificates because I believe in continuing education, especially in the nonprofit sector. So I completed the requirements to earn the nonprofit management certificate from Wake Forest University, Duke University, and Winthrop University. I'm also a 3-time graduate of Winthrop University. I earned a bachelor's degree in business administration, a master of arts in teaching business education, and a master of business administration degree. I complete 501c3 application packets for clients across the United States. Thus far, since 2010, I've completed 178 applications. I have a 100% approval rating from the IRS, which means all of the clients that submit applications I complete for them earn their determination letters or 501c3 status. I use a very methodical approach to completing application packets, which I know is the primary reason that I have a 100% approval rating from the IRS. I collaborate with my clients directly during the application completion process. I care about enhancing communities. That's the primary reason that I do this. I care about enhancing communities. And some clients, I never see their faces. I don't know what they look like. I don't know what communities they serve as far as never having visited the communities. I just know that indirectly, I am helping to enhance communities across the United States. And I really feel proud about that. It makes me feel a lot of joy and accomplishment to know that. So that's just a little bit of information about me. Let's get started on looking at the 30 reasons to hire me to complete your 501c3 nonprofit application. Number 1, this is the first step in the process. A potential client reserves a 1-hour phone consultation. When people respond to my advertisements or when they see me talking on YouTube or my YouTube channel, potential clients they go to my website, trustsusanwoods.com, and they reserve a 1-hour phone consultation with me. After I receive the notification of the 1-hour phone consultation reservation, I send a potential client a getting started survey to prepare for the consultation. The survey will ask them things like, what type of services do you want to provide through a nonprofit organization? Describe your target clients or your demographic profile of your clients. Where do you want to serve? Things like that, just to let me or help me prepare for a successful consultation. Third, I facilitate the 1-hour consultation with the client or with the potential client. And during that 1-hour phone consultation, I primarily listen to them explain to me what they want to do. And I don't interrupt them. I just let them talk and explain what services they want to provide in their communities, describe their community, describe their clients, describe the problem that they've identified that they want to solve, because that's what nonprofit organizations do. They solve community-based problems. So I spend that time listening to them explain what they want to do. And then I take that information that I've documented, because I do write notes as they share with me. And I look at the information and I take that information and I compare it to the requirements the IRS established for 501c3 status to make sure that their ideas or their visions or their goals align with what the IRS requires in a 501c3 nonprofit organization. If they don't align with the IRS requirements, I let the client know, the potential client know, that your idea doesn't fit the criteria for 501c3 status, because I would never accept a client knowing that their application will be rejected by the IRS. I don't do that. Also, during the 1-hour phone consultation, if their ideas do fit the criteria, then I let them know that as well. And we talk about how the application process works. I explain my process to them, and then they determine whether or not they want to move forward with my services. So again, step 4, I explain how I can help the client earn 501c3 status. I walk them through all of the steps that I'm going to share with you throughout this video. Everything I share in the video is what I share with clients during the 1-hour phone consultation. So I explain how I can help them earn 501c3 status. And earn is the operative word here, because we do earn the status by completing the Form 1023 application for recognition of exemption standard version. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. Step number 5, if the client says, yes, Susan, I'm ready to move forward, I want to hire you, then I will send them a contractual agreement. The contractual agreement includes everything that I will do for the client. It also includes limitations. For example, one of the limitations is I cannot promise the client that the IRS will approve their application packet. I can only promise them that I will do everything I can to make it easy for the IRS to approve their application. I also send them stipulations that I want them to be aware of, and other important information, refund policy and things like that, because I want the client to have everything in writing. I don't want them to ever have to assume or wonder about anything that pertains to my services. And my fee to complete an application packet using the standard version of the Form 1023 application for recognition of exemption is $1,500. That is my fee to complete the application packet from beginning to end. So once the client processes their fee, their $1,500 fee, and this is step 6, I will send them an application completion timeline. The application completion timeline lists all of the tasks that I will complete for the clients over a 20 business day time frame. So I promise the clients that I can complete their application packet within 20 business days, but that's contingent upon their ability to collaborate with me, because the application completion timeline includes the dates that I would send each document to them for review, and then the date that I would expect their feedback on those documents. So if the clients are not able to send their feedback to me in a timely fashion, then of course that's going to hinder my ability to meet my 20 business day goal to complete their application. But they will have the application completion timeline to track our progress throughout the time in which we work together to complete their application. So now, step 7, we're going to talk about some of the tangible things that I do for the client as far as creating a documentation that goes in the application packet. And I call it an application packet because not only is it the Form 1023 application for recognition of exemption, that's one component of the packet, but it also includes several other documents that I'm going to explain during this video message. The first one of the documents that I complete or acquire for the client is the employer identification number letter. Every 501c3 nonprofit organization has to have an EIN, or an employer identification number. It acts sort of like the Social Security number for our personal lives for the nonprofit organization, because the IRS uses this number to track the activities of the nonprofit organization, especially the financial activities of the nonprofit organization. So I will acquire the EIN letter for the client, and then I will make the client aware that I have the letter, and the letter will include the 9-digit EIN letter. The 9-digit employer identification number. 8, I will write and send the first draft of the bylaws to the client for their review and feedback. So every time I create a document or write a document, I will send it to the clients through email. And in the subject line, it will have for review and feedback, bylaws draft -1. So again, I will write and send the first draft of the bylaws to the client for review and feedback via email. That's step 8. Step 9, if the client has some changes or edits that they want to make in the bylaws, they will send that information back to me via email, and I will create or revise the bylaws according to what they want me to do. And I would then send them a second draft of the bylaws for their review and feedback. And the subject line would be for review and feedback, bylaws draft 2, if needed. Number 10, if the client still has edits for the bylaws, I will make those edits, and then I will send them a third draft of the bylaws for review and feedback if needed. I will create 3 drafts of each document at no additional charge for my clients, so that they will have an opportunity to make edits to their documents until they are happy and satisfied with the document. So after we finish with the bylaws, then we move on to step 11, which is Susan writes, or I write and send the first draft of your activities to the client for review and feedback. The your activities document is what I call the heart of your application packet, because this document explains everything you want to offer through a nonprofit organization. Everything. This is where you tell your story about what you want to do through a 501c3 nonprofit organization. This is where you tell the IRS, this is what I want to do. I would like to get approval to do these things. So this document is pretty extensive because it outlines the problem, sets the stage by outlining the problem, what's wrong, And then it talks about the solution that you plan to implement to solve the problems. So I will write this information for you. I will write this document for you and send it to the client, the first draft for their review and feedback. And then just like the other document, just like the bylaws, I will create a second version of it, a second draft of it if the client needs me to do that. And 9 times out of 10 for this one, the client would need me to do it because, again, I emphasize to my clients, please don't hesitate to tell me if you want changes in this document, because the IRS is going to hold you, not me, you accountable for completing the tasks that you've listed in this document. So I let them know it doesn't bother me if we need to make changes. Just let me know what they are, and I will create a second draft. 13, step 13, if we need a third draft of the Your Activities document, I will do that as well. 14, I will complete the application to file the Articles of Incorporation with the Secretary of State's office. We must include a copy of the filed Articles of Incorporation from the Secretary of State's office in the state in which the client plans to operate their services or their nonprofit organization. For example, if the client lives in Georgia and they plan to operate their nonprofit organization in Georgia, then I will go to the Georgia Secretary of State's office, learn the process to completing the application to file the Articles of Incorporation, and then complete the steps to file the Articles of Incorporation. And I would notify the client that I've done so. Even though this is a state level task, I prefer to do it for my clients because I know what the Articles of Incorporation applications normally entail. And I want to just do this, provide a service for my clients. Step 15, I write and send the first draft of the financial data report to the client for review and feedback. The financial data report is the budget. That's what it is. It includes the revenues, projected revenues and expenses that the client will incur or may incur to operate their services. Now, I use the Your Activities document to create the financial data report, because what I'm doing is I am assigning cost to each one of the services my client plans to offer through or offer in their Your Activities document. So the activities that they've described in their Your Activities document, I will monetize them, if you will, and put that data in the financial data report, because the IRS has to have an idea of how much it's going to cost to operate these services. So I do my homework again, and I assign costs to everything they list that they want to do. What is it going to cost to, for example, offer an after-school program for youth? The way we've described it in the Your Activities document, I take that information and I put it into the financial data report. I assign costs to it. If the client comes back and says, I think you left something out, or I think I need to take something out, then we work together, we collaborate, and I create a second draft of the financial data report if needed. I create a third draft of the financial data report if needed, because I want my clients to be happy with the documents that we submit in their application packet. I want them to read it, I want them to give me feedback, and I want them to be happy with the final results. 18, I write and send the first draft of the fundraising activities to the client for review and feedback. The fundraising activities document tells the IRS exemption specialist that's assigned to process your application packet how you plan to raise the money needed to provide your services. So You may not have noticed, so let me point this out. The documents that I'm describing are listed in a sequence that's required for success. Every document is dependent upon the one before it. For example, I cannot write the fundraising activities document before I write the financial data report, because the financial data report dictates the type of fundraising activities we will use in order to generate the revenues necessary to meet the amount of money we need that we listed in the financial data report. So I will write this fundraising activities document for my clients and send it to them for review and feedback. Some examples of fundraising activities I might list include grant funding, fundraising events, solicitation of donations, giving circles, social media fundraising activities. It depends, again, on the financial data report. So that's why we have to complete these steps in the order listed for success. I will create a second draft of the fundraising activities if necessary, and a third if necessary. Step 21, I write and send the first draft of the conflict of interest policy to the clients for review and feedback. The IRS is very, very serious about this document, because the conflict of interest policy states that, in a nutshell, you are offering this service to benefit the community. This is not going to be some type of shell organization to generate revenues that never touch the community and only benefit you and maybe some cohorts. This is a 4-page document that basically says that. The IRS knows and expects for you to earn a salary. No one expects nonprofit professionals to work for free. That's a myth. You are expected to include a salary for yourself in the projected expenses in the financial data report. That's fine. We're not talking about that. We're talking about people who establish organizations for the sole purpose of scamming the community. So the conflict of interest policy states that you understand better than that. You're not going to do that. So when you include this policy in your application packet, there's no wiggle room. If something were to happen, you cannot say you did not understand it, because you put the conflict of interest policy in your application packet stating that you do understand it. So I write the first draft of it, I write a second draft of it, and I write a third draft of it if needed. Step 24, or reason 24 to hire me to complete your 501c3. I would send the client the steps to create a Pay.gov account. The Pay.gov account is the platform, or Pay.gov rather, is the platform the IRS created to upload the Form 1023 application for recognition of exemption packet, or the 501c3 application packet. I use those terms interchangeably. So I created a step-by-step guide to walk you through the steps, or my clients through the steps, to creating their own Pay.gov account. And then I will use that account to upload their application. Once they've created the Pay.gov account, then I will go into their Pay.gov account to create the first draft of the Form 1023 application for recognition of exemption and send it to the client for review and feedback. Now, as I stated in the very beginning of this video message, the Form 1023 application for recognition of exemption is one part of the entire 501c3 application packet. So just think about the 501c3 application packet being at the top of a hierarchy. And then you have all of these other components or documents that go along with the application packet. The Form 1023 application for recognition of exemption is one such component or one such document. The only way to access the current version of this application, which was dated January 1st, 2020, the most recent version, is to go to Pay.gov. If you go to irs.gov and download the Form 1023, you will have the wrong version. I wish the IRS would simply remove it from their site, but it's still there. So again, let me emphasize this, and please listen. The only way to get the current version of the Form 1023 application for recognition of exemption with the date of January 1st, 2020 is to go to Pay.gov. Once you get in Pay.gov, you just go to the search field and type Form 1023 and you will have it. And as a reminder, I only complete the Form 1023 standard version. I do not complete the Form 1023 EZ for my clients. If necessary, I will send the clients a second draft of the Form 1023 and a third draft. Finally, reason number 8 to hire me, I will upload the Form 1023, supplemental responses, and any other documents to the client's Pay.gov account on their behalf. My clients don't have to do anything. They just respond to my emails. That's it. That's all. They don't have to go in and upload anything. They don't have to go in and write anything or create anything. I do everything for my clients from start to finish. So I will upload the Form 1023, like I just described it. The supplemental responses are those documents that I created throughout this video message, or that I described throughout this video message. The supplemental responses are as follows: the EIN letter, 1. Number 2, the file Articles of Incorporation. Number 3, the bylaws. Number 4, the Your Activities document. 5, the financial data report. 6, the fundraising activities. 7, the conflict of interest policy. I will compile those documents into one document. The supplemental responses must be compiled into one document because the Pay.gov account only allows you to upload one document. So you have to compile all of your supplemental responses documents into one, right? They cannot exceed 15 megabytes. Then you attach it to your application in Pay.gov account. Now, I mentioned here other documents and other documents. The other documents may include something like a letter to expedite the application process. Sometimes people are like, I really need to get my 501c3 designation as soon as possible. Well, it's possible to have your application expedited, but you have to have a letter. I'm not going to get into all of the details around that in this video message, but that could be one of the other documents that I would include in the supplemental responses and upload to your Pay.gov account, or to my client's Pay.gov account. 29, we're almost there. After I've uploaded all of the information to the Pay.gov account, I will notify the client that the application packet is ready to submit to the IRS. And then I will provide them the steps to process or to pay the processing fee. So I've created a little how-to guide that walks them through the steps to accessing their Pay.gov account and then going in and processing their $600 fee to the IRS. Now, I don't do that part for my clients because I want them to know when their fee was processed. I've heard some horror stories from people who have given or sent money to a consultant to send to the IRS on their behalf and never get a response from the IRS because the consultant didn't send the money, they spent the money. So in order to remove any kind of anxiety or concern around that, I just give them the steps to go into their own account to process their fee, and then they can download the receipt from the IRS themselves. And so they know that their money is gone to the IRS and they don't have to worry about that. And I asked them to send me a copy of the receipt for my records. 30, I provide ongoing support until the client earns 501c3 nonprofit status. Most people will stop right there. They'll be like, okay, well, good luck. You submitted your application to the IRS. Best wishes. See you later. Thank you for your business. I don't do that. I stay with my clients until they get the determination letter stating that they have 501c3 status. The reason that I do that is because the IRS requests 6 months to process an application packet. And sometimes during that 6-month time frame, the exemption specialist assigned to process my client's application will come back to them and say, hey, I need some information on this article. Or what did you mean by this? Or can you clarify that? So the client will send me the letter because the exemption specialist will send them a letter asking for additional information. It's called information request, first request, or information request, second request, and so on and so forth. So I just ask my clients, just send me a copy of the letter. Let me read the letter. And then I will write the response for my clients. And then I will send them the response for them to sign it and then send back to the exemption specialist for review. I do this at no additional charge. This is a part of my ongoing support. And let me tell you, there have been some times when we've done 3 updates for the IRS. We've answered 3 requests for information, depending upon the complexity of the nonprofit organization. And again, I will answer every time the IRS comes back for additional information. I respond on behalf of my clients because it's a very short turnaround time. So I make time. I make time in my schedule because I know I want them to get the information back to the IRS exemption specialist in a timely manner. So these are the 30 steps. These are the 30 steps that I provide for my clients to help them earn 501c3 status. So what do you think? What do you think about the way I partner and collaborate with my clients to help them earn 501c3 status? Have you ever seen anyone this detail oriented before? A consultant, a lawyer, an accountant, a company, anybody that you've seen that you know of to go to these lengths to help their clients for $1,500? If you would like to start a 501c3 nonprofit organization, I invite you to reserve a phone consultation today. Just go to my website, www.trustsusanwoods.com, and you will see a link in the menu called Reserve Consultation. Just click on that link. It'll take you to my calendar, and you can select the time frame that fits your schedule to reserve a 1-hour phone consultation. One more thing I want to mention to you is I offer referral incentives. 10% of the contractual agreement. So let's say you refer a friend to me and they hire me to complete their application packet. I will give you 10% of their contractual agreement. So if they pay me full price, $1,500, then of course I will give you $150 just for referring a client to me, because I don't take it for granted. You don't have to refer anyone to me. But if you took the time to do that for me, I want to let you know that I appreciate it. Now, sometimes I don't charge clients the full price, the full $1,500. It depends on the situation. But of course, if they're your friend, they're going to let you know how much they paid me, because I tell every client that I'm going to provide an incentive 10% award to the person that referred you to me. So I'm sure they're going to let you know how much they paid. Before I end this video, I want to share something with you that's going to blow your mind. A $2,500 challenge. How to win $2,500 to start your 501c3 nonprofit organization. I'm issuing a challenge for you to win $2,500 from me to start your 501c3 nonprofit organization. So how would you do that? If you can prove that another consultant, an accountant, a lawyer, or even a company, major corporation like LegalZoom, provides better services than me, than Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions, for $1,500, then I will award you with $2,500 as follows. I will pay up to $1,500 to any competitor that you choose, that you say, Susan, they can do a better job than you. You can prove it. I will pay up to $1,500 to that competitor for them to complete your application packet. The second thing I would do, I will pay the $600 IRS processing fee on your behalf, because I'm not going to pay anybody $1,500 to do an EZ. No, they have to be matched to me. To me, their services have to match my services 1-to-1 in order for this to meet this challenge. So you can't say, well, they're going to do the 1023 EZ. No, because I use the 1023 standard. So my competitor would have to use that as well. And I would pay the $600 processing fee for the 1023 standard, because that's the amount for that one. The IRS charges $275 for the 1023 EZ to process it, but we're not talking about that. The third thing, I would pay whatever fee it is your state charges to file your Articles of Incorporation with the Secretary of State's office. And finally, whatever remaining funds are left over after I've paid the $1,500 to the competitor, after I've paid the $600 to the IRS to process your application, and after I've paid the fee to file your articles, if there's any money left, I will donate that to your nonprofit organization after you receive your status. $2,500 challenge. That's just how confident I am that no one, a consultant, an accountant, a lawyer, or even a major company, I'm putting myself up against LegalZoom. I don't believe anybody can match my services for $1,500. I just don't. But I'm issuing this challenge to you. Prove me wrong. If you want to accept the challenge, just go to my website, trustsusanwoods.com, click on the Contact Us link, and in the Contact Us section, just complete the information that's there and then submit the website for my competitor so that I can go out and see if they match my services 1-to-1 and for $1,500. If they do, hey, you've won the $2,500 challenge. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I thank everyone, all of my clients, all 178 of them thus far, for hiring me to complete their 501c3 application packet. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your day.